Hi, everybody. It is not Friday. It is Wednesday, and I'm here with Kathy Biehl, and we're going to play PoliTarology.
Woohoo!
Yeah, indeed. So, getting ready for our little holiday weekends here. As is my wont, I want to look at the political landscape and see what's going on. And one of the best ways to look at things is through the lens of astrology and what has already happened. So I'm going to pass everything over to Kathy. You just say whatever you want.
I have recently hit on the metaphor of power washing for what's been going on. We have, for a couple of months, had absolutely untethered water energy, like tsunamis, hurricanes, just going and going and going, dredging all kinds of stuff up. And the driver in this has been Mercury. He started it. He's retrograde. He's doing it again now. He's going to end this fun fest on December 6th. So there's a through line there, but there's been a lot of activity in Scorpio, which is not comfortable energy for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And you might have heard the phrase drain the swamp. It's like all the swamp monsters are getting kicked up and whipped up and thrown into our faces. It also reminds me of when I lived on the Gulf Coast after a hurricane, going to Galveston and seeing all kinds of weird shit just coming up on the shore that had been way, way out in the Gulf. And who knows where it came from, what in the world it was. So we're seeing a whole lot of that. It has to do with crimes, corruption, power games, sex. Did I mention sex? Scandals. Did I mention sex? Huge amounts of money and revelations. And so I think that we could say that let's put treason in that mix too.
Oh,
So I think we've seen a whole lot of this going on. And I kind of keep a running list for the regular political astrology video I've been doing on Fridays with the Cosmic Owl. I keep a running list of stuff, and it's laughable how much of it tracks the astrological imagery, especially since Mercury, and again, a lot of bodies have been involved, but Mercury rules things that move, things with moving parts, things that move through the air. And look at the bombings on water. We've had a ton of that. There is Kristi Noem was found to have taken a helicopter from a Coast Guard base for her own purposes. Mercury's the helicopter, Venus and Scorpio, they met together this week. That's her doing this nefarious stuff. So I'm on a blither here, but the point of it all is it's not happening just to drive us crazy. It's actually really bringing a lot of things to light and causing things to happen in a huge way. And the first weekend in December is going to be pivotal for a lot of this. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning is sort of the canary in the coal mine, or the canary running out of the coal mine. I do think a lot of people are going to follow her lead and think of what she said. Things were getting toxic. Well, yeah, you were part of it, my friend, but just know that we're not just stewing in this. Things are happening, things are developing so that we see them and have to deal with them. And stuff that a lot of us have said, oh yeah, we know, is now getting leaked. That's also scorpionic information about the so-called Trump peace plan for Ukraine really being something that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, he doesn't have a security clearance. He never did, actually. Down in Florida, basically taking dictation from a Kremlin envoy. And now this week we have phase 2 of the revelations, somebody leaking phone conversation between Witkoff and a Kremlin envoy telling him how to handle Trump to agree to the Russia-friendly Ukraine peace plan. So more and more and more actually coming out. And I want to, there are several things that have happened with cases this week getting dismissed. The ones against Comey and Letitia James, which are being appealed, and the Georgia long-standing prosecution, racketeering prosecution over all kinds of things having to do with the 2020 election. All of those were dismissed with a phrase called without prejudice, which means without cutting off the right to bring the cases back another time. So I think as the political climate changes, there will likely be somebody in Georgia who doesn't fear for their life and would actually take the prosecution on. Because it's going to be a while till the statute of limitations runs. Mm-hmm. So there's my freeform blither. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to bring up a couple of things, and these are things probably that I think we should read about. Is the moment of the appeals court upholding the $1 million penalty against Trump as he tried to bring a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. Yay! I'm glad they upheld that. That's great. The Georgia election case that was dismissed against Trump, but again, without prejudice. So they could bring that again. And you had something to say about that they were trying to bring that federal, that the guy.
Oh, no, the prosecutor, Fani Willis was taken off. Mm-hmm. And a new prosecutor had to be appointed. And the head of the commission that appoints prosecutors took it himself. And he said just recently, nobody else would take it on, so he did it. And his justification for asking the court to dismiss the charges, his stated justification was that it's really a federal matter and most of these things happened in DC, so this wasn't the right place for it. My take on that is it was a hot potato. No one wanted to touch it. And by the judge making it without prejudice, that means down the line, something more could still happen when the world morphs into what many of us have been seeing that it will eventually morph into. If I could go back to the thing about the penalty for Hillary Clinton, that matches astrology this week because Mercury, which has to do with things you say, in Scorpio, which would be libel and saying awful things, merged with Venus in Scorpio, Venus being Clinton. She's also a Scorpio, but a woman, and Venus, these being in the sign of an enormous amount of money. And this was, both of them are in an easy flow with Saturn, the courts, and accountability, and Jupiter, which makes everything bigger. So this was an appropriate time astrologically for a court to say, nope, you're on the hook, buddy boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and in case any of you were getting ready to line up to buy them, Trump's mobile phone is still not being released. So if you've been waiting since June, which is when he announced it, to buy one, you're going to keep waiting. Apparently, Kristi Noem is on the hook for the flights to the planes to Venezuela, although apparently there is also a timeline that's been drawn up by the DOJ that shows that they were already in the air, no way to turn them back.
Out of U.S. airspace.
Out of U.S. airspace.
Now, obviously an order could have been made, but she decided not to.
And I thought I heard when that first was happening, I thought I heard that the plane itself becomes United States soil, essentially.
Well, you could make that argument, yes, couldn't you? But not with this DOJ. They're not going to do that.
Well, not with this DOJ, but if you did have a court of law where you could make that argument, that might be something you could argue. And I know that we're all feeling very bad for KK Levitt, who's had a relative that was detained by ICE. And I'm sure that we're all just, she's in our thoughts and prayers so that her relative can be released without incident. But we don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up. The FBI apparently is going to be interviewing the 6 Democrats who made the video encouraging the military to stick to their oath and to not follow illegal orders. And I just love all the news coverage of this, where they keep saying out loud, they're telling them to not respond or not follow illegal orders. And every time the administration talks about it, they say that they're telling them to not follow orders. It's like so stupid. But anyway, that's what's going on.
No, that's how you manipulate perception.
Yeah, exactly. So what should we read about first here? I'm thinking the James Comey and the Letitia James case is being dismissed. Do we want to just quick? Huh?
It's being Pam Bondi's appealing the dismissal.
Yeah. Is that going to go anywhere? Is that going to go anywhere? Let's look at Comey first.
Okay. The reason both of these cases got dismissed, in both of them, the courts were looking for information of prosecutorial misconduct, but the dismissal was on a ground that's even before that. A more fundamental one. The dismissal was on the ground that Lindsay Halligan was improperly appointed. And this finding has been made in 3 or 4 other jurisdictions, including our state of New Jersey. And Alina Habba is still occupying her office.
Yes.
There are the danger in this is, from a prosecutorial point of view, that prosecutions, convictions, whatever, by someone that wasn't properly appointed, guess what? They can be voided. So
yeah. Well, I just want to see what we get with James Comey.
Well, this is weird. New rules, policies, laws. I'm using the predictions oracle. Well, it's not over. Okay, they're gonna continue digging this dirt as long as these people occupy where they are. Oh, and cyber attacks. So they're also going to try to smear him online, maybe dox him. Who knows what?
Yeah, I know that she's going to bring an appeal. I know that they're going to fail in a lot of areas that way, but somehow they will get something that they want to go on. But I get the world. I get that it is going to come to an end. I get that there is, the door is going to be shut. And then they will probably, like you said, they'll probably bring some other action to try to hurt him in some way, to try to, cost him money legally, so he has to hire a lot of lawyers and waste his time and everything. And in the end, it'll come to nothing, because it will never actually come to much in the courts. It'll just be there on the books. And then eventually, Dumpy doesn't wake up one morning. And so it's like, who really wants that case to go forward? But, I don't see him being actually prosecuted by Trump. I don't think that's really going to come to be. And what do we think about Letitia James? Much the same, I think. But
the evidence against her was ridiculous. Okay, so hers was for mortgage fraud. By the way, they're going after Eric Swalwell for mortgage fraud, and he's filed a lawsuit preemptively because of this.
Yeah, and they went against Adam Schiff, I believe, for mortgage fraud.
Well, but the prosecutor decided there wasn't sufficient.
Oh, so you dropped that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Interesting. What I'm getting, I think, is answering something else.
Okay. Well, the Letitia James one, no bueno for the Trump side. No bueno. Oh, this is so interesting. So, okay. So what they're going to do, it's all going to be slammed down. They're going to proclaim victory. You know how he loves to do that? Like, oh, it was so great. We won, did all this stuff. And then basically, as the little crumbs start leading to the inevitable, oh no, they didn't really win, they either get out of town or they, just do some other distraction, or they talk about Jeffrey Epstein or something. But I get the final result is the Eight of Wands. It's just whoop, 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 just floating away. So maybe that'll happen at the, I don't know how fast those kind of things, those appeals can happen. I mean, Pam's got her hands full, doesn't she? That girl has got to be very busy. I mean, how is she going to bring all these appeals? Oh, she has the whole DOJ who works for her and Trump. So I guess.
But there's not much in the DOJ. May I tell you the cards that I pulled, and then you tell me if you think the same thing I think? So the first one is planned outcome. The second one is rockets, space X. And the third one is controlled puppet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What would these have to do with prosecuting Letitia James? To get her off the trail? I mean, this smells very much like the prophecy of the electoral map, ...
Yes, very much so. So are they going to try to make it look like Letitia James was in on it?
No, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. I think that these three cards wanted to get into the conversation.
Yeah, I do think that all of the election stuff is just going to bubble to the surface. I really do. There's just so much brewing on that front. And all of his other fronts where he's trying to bring distractions against, Epstein or whatever's going on, Russia, you name it, are just, they're toothless. There's no oomph, there's no there. And so I think that, as that stuff starts to come out, here's what I really think. Dumpy will get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker, and you'll see him less and less and less and less. And at a certain point, it will just be like, well, where has he been? And I don't know. Don't ask you guys in the chat. Don't ask you about 25th Amendment on this stuff. This is going to have a crazy outcome.
It's not going to be 25th Amendment. That's too complicated. It won't be that.
Yeah.
I've always seen, and I think this fits with you, multiple issues, like attacks coming from multiple directions, and then once the snowball starts down the hill, everything comes at him. So I think the election interference stuff is going to come from someplace else. I also think you have to ask, where is this information about the phone call that Witkoff coming from? Is there somebody in Europe who's now hit the point of, we will stop this, and they're leaking things?
Well, they're certainly talking about Ukraine to Ukraine. They had a meeting with Zelensky. Ursula von der Leyen made a statement. She brought it out and said, we're not gonna let this stand. That if we are going to talk about some sort of a treaty or peace or whatever, it's going to involve Europe, not just Ukraine, but Europe. And she's a tough cookie. I mean, she's real smart, and she's really determined. And she stepped into this role really as I'm not laying down until I see this through. You can tell this is a mission for her, just like Mark Rutte. It's just like, yeah, we're not taking this. You're not taking away Europe just because a half-dead Russian czar thinks that he should own Europe. That's not happening. So, I think they are going to be stepping in. And don't forget that, Jack Smith is still got all of his tons of information. He just does. And all the election stuff, I think, is what brings it all together. I think when the election stuff really starts happening and people are acknowledging and seeing that it really was whatever it was. I won't say the word because I don't want to get the video banned, but as those cases pertaining to election interference start heating up and more evidence is being exposed, I think more and more people will just go, yeah, well, duh. I mean, that's obviously what happened because nobody wanted this guy. Nobody wanted.
Well, with X showing the locations of accounts, and then everything lighting up so that so many of these right-wing accounts were actually bot farms offshore, that kind of, and then suddenly X took that away, like, whoops, no, it's like turning the lights on and seeing cockroaches everywhere now. Uh, that kind of lends credence to who was really fomenting all this. Maybe it wasn't so much people here in the US who were
Yeah, maybe
supporting
it
that.
wasn't. And so that's what your three cards are really about. That
Yes.
that Muskrat just said. Um, he did this. He said, "Oh, you know what? Look at everything that's here. Oh wait. Oh no, you shouldn't see it." He opened it up for a minute and he said, "This is what it is." He wants to turn state's evidence. He's probably very scared about his own future because he's already got court cases all over the world,
All
basically.
over the world, right. Hmm.
So I mean, he's not in a good place. He's really not in a good place, and Dumpy can't do anything for him. I mean, the whole reason that he helped Dumpy was to quell the court cases about him in the United States. And I guess that happened, but it's not going to stay that way. It's just not. It's not going to stay that way. And I think back to the election things, when the election things heat up, I think that's when there could be an action that said, oh, this is an illegitimate administration and we have to have military step in and kind of take over. So I think it's something more like that. And I think with the backing and the help of and I've said this for a long time, all those organizations abroad
Hmm.
will be there ready and waiting with evidence, with people, with personnel, with possibly, um, human resources, shall we say, to assist us in what we need to do. But mostly, I think, with evidence and information. This just fell out of my deck, Ten of Pentacles. Documents, information, evidence. I mean, some money, but really this is about documents and evidence that is going to be coming out, that's going to be just jumping in our face and lending credence to those of us who have been saying all along, yes, it's bad. It was not right. We need to make this right. It was not right. So that's what I think. Um, so, Kash Patel, let's talk about the FBI.
Oh, so he's been using a plane, Mercury, for his girlfriend.
That was nice. I thought you had a soundtrack for yourself.
No, no, I'm opening my astrology program.
Oh, oh, yes. He's been doing all sorts of things. He's been using the plane to go on little trips with his girlfriend. He's been not working very much. He's
Nope.
been screwing up right and left. Dumpy's not happy with that. And since Dumpy came out and said, "Oh yeah, Cash is doing a great job and we just think the world of him, whatever, blah 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 blah." That's the kiss of death. That means that he's definitely going to get rid of him. And did you see the press briefing that he was doing about the DC National Guard incident? He wasn't wearing his glasses and he was doing his best to not sound crazy. He was doing his best to sound like a normal person, like almost somebody who could work for the FBI. So very interesting that presentation that he was doing. So I don't need to throw cards on it. Yeah, he's going to fire him. He's going to go.
Well, a couple of things about him. One is that his ability to fool himself is really, really getting accentuated right now. And there's a solar eclipse in February right on his Mars and his really close to his midheaven, which is the doorway to his career house.
Is this Patel or Trump?
This is Patel. So
Okay.
we're gonna see, and eclipses start showing themselves about 3 months in advance. So he's set for a reboot of his career, a reset, a reboot. Oops, bam, and it's not going to be subtle. So
I would be his choice. It doesn't sound like it's going to be his choice.
Probably not. Also, Pluto's sitting on his Mercury, so there are that's
things will be revealed.
Oh yeah, lots. There's probably some money stuff with him.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, in addition to making use of government property and treating it like his own, I think there's something else.
But doesn't he like recreational pharmaceuticals?
Oh, I did not know that, but it would fit with Saturn in Pisces squaring his Neptune in Sagittarius. I think he's kind of a party boy.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
So there may be some ramifications, repercussions, whatever, from the party boy stuff. Yeah, he might get busted in public. I mean, like somebody might catch him out in public.
Well, I think all of the big ringleaders, I think, add him to Gnome, Hegseth, and Rubio. I think all of them are just heading for the guillotine. Honestly, I just think they all have just not good stars in front of them. They're just it's just not good. But Patel in particular, I think, is a particularly weak link. He is such a weak link, and he's so vulnerable. Publicity wise, image wise, he's just so vulnerable. There's so many things to criticize him about. He doesn't even have a residence in Washington, D.C. or anywhere near there. He lives, in Las Vegas or something. Like, this guy is just not really seriously doing this job and there for it. So I think he's a real weak link, and I think Dumpy knows that. And as far as Gnome and Hedge, whatever his name is, and Rubio, aren't they living on military bases right now?
Right. Yeah, they're living on our dime. They're getting their housing paid for, which is not part of the job.
No, and was it Gnome you were saying took a plane or something, or a helicopter?
Helicopter, yeah.
Because now she thinks she's part of the military. So now Homeland Barbie thinks she's military Barbie, and that she can just use it like Kirsty Gnome's dream house, has a dream plane and a dream, what do they call it? A base, military base. She just thinks that's part of the set, part of what she's supposed to do. Hegseth doesn't know where he is. They've recently shown pictures of him pretty inebriated in public and really embarrassing himself. And Rubio is, God, his spring is wound so tight. That guy, oh man, I would not want to be in his orbit for even 10 minutes. This guy is so ruthless, and I don't know. He's one that I think would have like a aneurysm or a stroke or a heart event or something because of all the pressure that he's under and all the stuff that he's doing. But we'll see. But I think that Rubio also, I think that he is not 100% on board with what's going on.
No, I mean, he's also been shown up finding out that there's this peace plan that's completely unlike whatever he's been working on. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, how many times are they going to put him out there and put egg on his face? I mean, that's so embarrassing, all the stuff they keep doing to him. And then he has 45 different jobs. He has to do all these different jobs because they just won't put anybody in, much like Trump 1.0. But I think that, I think Hegseth, and is it known? They've had charges from the ICC leveled against them, crimes against humanity. Do you know? Or you
I
don't know?
don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know that Rubio has. And I would say that that's probably the perfect opportunity for him to try to make a deal and say, I can tell you everything I know. Just, go easy on me. He's already changed his colors, shall we say, several times in his career, and it just wouldn't be uncharacteristic for him to do it again. That's what I think.
Uranus, which has moved back into Taurus, and Uranus, a very uncomfortable energy for people watching. It's very disruptive. Is moving on to his Saturn. Is going to sit there for January, February, and the first half of March.
How old is he? Do you know?
He was born in 1971.
Oh, okay.
So 52, 50, no, 50.
6?
Something like that. Mid-50s.
Yeah, second Saturn return coming up too.
That's still a couple of years away.
It is. But if he's been a bad boy, he might start to feel it. And with all that Uranus going on there, he probably just has a super guilty conscience about everything.
Well, Jupiter's been moving back and forth, which expands everything it touches. It's been moving back and forth over his moon. We don't have a degree for the moon because I don't have a birth time, but it's late in Cancer.
Yeah. Well, just looking at Rubio, is he gonna spill some beans? Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about ways to extricate himself from his situation. I've had that hit on him for a long time. He does not really like being in the position that he's in, and I think he's going to try something new. I think he wants to try something new. And
Scuttlebutt is run for president again.
Oh God, no, he'll never do that. I mean, he might try, but nothing's going to come of it. I mean, and it's hard to run for president from a jail cell, but oops. So, and poor Hegseth. I mean, if he's lucky, he'll end up in some, forced rehab facility or something. That's another one that I think. Do we think that he's going to be replaced soon?
Let's look.
Yeah, go ahead.
The timed chart for him.
Ah.
Oh, Neptune is squaring his Venus. He's got problems with indulging.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, currently.
Yeah.
And Neptune's sitting on his sun. Neptune, sorry. Sorry, he's off in his own world, and there could be some liquid help getting there.
Lots. And the Queen of Wands comes up. I wonder if that's his mother or his wife. I get this again. I got this a few weeks ago. I think they're gonna offer him some money to go and just say, here, Petey, we'll put you in a nice facility somewhere. You can dry out. You can move to Dubai for all we care, but you just need to get the F out of the orbit of Mr. Trump. He can't have you here anymore. That's what I think is going to happen to him. That's what I think. Yes. And Kirsty Nome, I guess she's just figuring out her next cosmetic procedure and her next outfit. But I don't think things are going to be good for her either. I think that she's too, I guess Dumpy likes people who can be in the public eye. He likes people who look good, but he does not want them to get all the attention. He wants the attention. So even in his debilitated state, even in his dementia, he still wants to have flattery and be the center of attention, yada, yada. And she's a little too, plus she's brunette, she's not blonde, so she doesn't get any favor from him. And I think she's got to go. Well, it won't be right away, but I think they're going to sideline her. I think they're going to try to cut. Oh, yeah, 2026. Oh, bad. She
has some very difficult problems coming up.
Yeah, astrologically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2026. I'm seeing the King of Cups, the Tower, and the Ten of Wands. So she's gonna go down in 2026. Maybe around that eclipse. Who knows? Does it affect her?
Other things are setting her off, and they have their roots in this past summer. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. All right. So what about the 6 Dems who made that video? What do we think is going to come of these FBI interviews, and will there actually be public executions? I hope not. I'm going to switch decks.
No, there was no. This is just another distraction. And honestly, I call it hopium. I don't see this situation lasting long enough for any of these things to come to fruition. I mean, like real fruition. I just see
let alone a court case, because it takes too long to do a court case. Yeah, I'm with you.
The greater good. I don't have my cards reversed, so right? You're not seeing it. It's backwards, right?
No, actually, to me, it's
fine. Okay, it's fine. All right, then I have my camera the right way. Security cameras. What in the world is there surveillance about? And so many people.
I love that. Well, the first card I get for that is justice. They'll interview him. They won't find anything. Yeah. They're gonna try. They're gonna do as much, as many dirty things as they can think of to make it look like they did something wrong. They're gonna just, oh man, they are gonna pull the levers of communication power at Fox and OAN or if they even use OAN anymore, like you wouldn't believe. They're just gonna go overboard with this. I mean, if Trump could, he would raise Roger Ailes from the grave to help him. He would do everything possible to make this look bad for them. But I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be fine. I think there are going to be a lot of threats. There already are. The big one came off the top. But see, here's where I think you're seeing the demise of Dumpy. In the old days, he would build up to that threat of a public execution, right? That would be the ultimate, right? And he would have enough finesse to know that he can hint at, dangerous things. But if he says it right off the top, he has nowhere to go. He's already, as they say, shot his wad. So,
yeah, usually mob boss talk hints at things like, oh, it'd be a real problem if something happened here. But no, you're right. He's just jumping to the ultimate.
Yeah. It'd be a shame if you got pulled back into the military and court-martialed. Well, okay, that didn't happen to, who is that guy? General Kelly?
Mark Milley.
No, the one before him that was the Secretary of Defense that was so bad that he only lasted a few days, and now he goes off and he does all these speaking tours talking about how great Trump is. What the hell is that guy's name?
I can see his picture, but I can't remember his name.
So, Trump doesn't do stuff like this. He's a pretty good, used to be, able to manipulate the narrative very well.
No, Flynn wasn't the Secretary of Defense.
What was he? He was in the White House for something. He was in the first administration for like 20 days or something.
No, that's Scaramucci.
No, I know Scaramucci, but Flynn didn't last long either. He was something. And he had to step down. And in those days, they made him step down because he actually did something bad. And, that would have been Tuesday in this administration. They wouldn't have even blinked for what he did. But anyway, these people, I think that they will be harassed. I think they will be threatened. The interviews will be, depending on who they get to do them, might be harsh and abusive, actually. But I don't think that they will actually do anything to them. I don't even know if they're going to be able to bring any lawsuits against them, which is Trump's favorite thing. What do you think they'll be able to do lawsuits against them?
Well, it would be prosecutions for sedition, which is non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what I think of as you're discussing that. Whoever is interviewing them in the FBI, what do you think the odds are that those people have not been in the military?
Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, have fun with it. Sure.
Yeah. But they have pulled a lot of FBI agents and tried to put them into ICE. They have tried to divert personnel into ICE from every corner of the government. And, it scares me that they may have put some people in, Kash Patel may have put some people into the FBI that are not really FBI worthy, like never went to Quantico, just used to work down at the, Circle K, and now, now they work for the FBI. So, there could be people like that they get. I don't know. Could be just,
just be garden variety thugs for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, they would just be garden variety thugs. So, all right. So now let's look at the starred thingamajigs and see what people got. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much for bearing with me. You know how terrible I am. Sherry is helping me. She's been starring things. And now my mouse is really not working. There we go. Okay, so we're going to look at the starred stuff. Oh, here's one we didn't talk about. Will the incident in D.C. today with the National Guard escalate into a distraction the current regime wants?
Well, they've already put it on that track by calling in more guard. But, okay, Trump was not in town when it happened. I don't think it was an inside job, but I think they can make use of it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have a hard time with the suspect because he's not one of them. I think they're going to have a hard time manipulating that person and making it look like whatever they want it to look like. I think they're going to have a really hard time. And I think that, DC is between a rock and a hard place because DC is not LA. DC is not Chicago. They don't have the resources to fight him. And he does, I believe, actually have a legal right to put the National Guard into their city, right?
A court has said no.
What?
No, a court has enjoined the use of the Guard in D.C. and given the DOJ until December 11th to file briefs on it. But there is an injunction I think they gave him time to appeal or something, but there's an injunction in place that said, no, this was not done for defensible reasons. And so now he's called more troops in, I think. Yeah, they're sending 500 more National Guard in response. I think this was a lucky development for them, and played right into something that they wanted. I don't know why this guy was why he's so bent out of shape over things.
The suspect?
Yeah, there's something about family or his community having been threatened.
Oh, sure. Sure.
That's
He's
part of
Afghani,
what's going on.
right? So, oh, sure. Yeah. Well, what I'm getting about the situation in general is that, you know, Dumpy will have his day with the extra guards in DC. When December 11th comes, I don't think the appeals will get anywhere. There will be they'll have to adhere to whatever the first judgment or ruling was, and they'll still talk about it and fight about it, but I don't think they'll be able to do any more like appeals or any other court cases about it or pushing that way. And honestly, I think Dumpy's kind of losing steam and losing his desire to do this. I think Stephen Miller still has the desire to do this. So if Stephen Miller is driving the train, then you may still see some pushback on this. But I don't think it's going to do what they want it to do. It's going to be a distraction for about 5 minutes, but it's not going to be a major distraction. But maybe that's enough for Dumpy. Maybe 5 minutes is all he needs. What do you think?
Well, there's some inconvenient things coming up for him. So who knows what else he'll dream up. But Judge Chutkan, there's a familiar name, has ordered the DOJ to. Well, there's a Freedom of Information Act request that's been poking around for a while, having to do with the DOJ's statement in the summer that that all this back and forth about the file. So it's not that she's fast tracking the files. She is granting a Freedom of Information Act request for documents about the discussions that the FBI, the DOJ had about what they were doing with them. And that has a really short fuse.
And we're talking about the documents that were found in where?
We're talking about the Epstein files.
Oh, we're talking about the Epstein files. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not that she's ordering the release of them. She's ordering the explanation of like I'm not articulating this well, but it's more the backroom considerations that they went through about why those things were not released this summer, what the rationale was.
And I love that, because what she's getting at is the fact that Pam made a big deal about how she had them on her desk and they were going through them. And when they were ready, they would release them. And of course, they would, redact all the names of the victims. That's what they said. But, really what she did is have them try to redact the names of the rich and famous who were in there, right? So I think it's really good that they go through that process of, how did we get to that? How did we decide that was an okay thing to do? And who did it? And why did they do it? And how was it supervised? How were they directed? What were they told to do? I mean, I think that's excellent. I think that's great. She's a Cancer, I think, right?
I want to say Virgo, but I could be wrong.
I love her. I have a card.
Get my files out.
I have a card in one of my decks that looks like her, and I just love that card. Maybe it's the woman who's the head of the ICC who's a Cancer. That might be.
Nope, you're right. Check into Cancer.
Yeah.
And her son's on the U.S. Sun. Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting?
Yeah. She's got a big
Oh,
connection.
and Uranus is going to sit on her Mars all of January, February, and half of March.
Go, Tanya. Go, Tanya. She's so cool. I love her. Yeah, I think that's really, really going to be important. All right. So in answer to the question that's on the screen, yes, it'll escalate. It'll be in the news for about 5 minutes, but it's not going to distract for a long time. Okay. Who is
And
behind it? Go
I
ahead.
just like to throw in something I hinted at, or maybe sort of said. I want to say it more clearly. I honestly, people are freaking out about the midterms or this or that. Pull your perspective really, really tight. We're in the end game. We are in the end game. And this is not going to go on for months and months and months and months and months. So many of these things that we're talking about that maybe they would do something with aren't going to hit their actual coming into being because the situation will be vastly different very soon.
Yeah, I get so strongly that we just can't even imagine how this little kaleidoscope is all going to come together. It's going to be so squirrely. I mean, it's just going to be it's going to come under the heading of you really can't make this up. I mean, and think of what's going on at this red hot moment in our history. We've got an object from another galaxy flying through our atmosphere, aligning on the same ecliptic as all of our planets that go around the sun. It's not going to hit Earth. It doesn't want to hit Earth, but it did a course correction to get closer to Earth. And that's happening at the same time that all of this is. This is an extraordinary moment. It's just moment, a period of months. It's just extraordinary to be living on this rock at this time. So I know this is hard for everybody, and I know that what we're going through is really difficult, but this is what needed to happen all along. I mean, this is, him doing all of these, I'm going to say it, shitty things and being a shitty person. And even the physical manifestation with all of his horrible illnesses and seeing all of that horribleness kind of oozing out of him. We needed to see this. His people, his MAGA people needed to see this. We needed to see Marjorie Taylor Greene become all of a sudden a beacon, for 30 seconds of almost rational thought and protecting the Epstein survivors. That's amazing. But then, her goodbye speech, we see, okay, she's the normal person. But that kind of thing too, seeing a woman turn the tide of MAGA, really. I mean, it had been turning for months, but she's the fulcrum, right? She has done this move. And now you're going to see MAGA and Republicans just not like just running to the exits, but you're going to see more and more and more because that's the way it works. One person dives in and the rest of them start peeling off and diving in too. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm looking for, oh, come on. I have his chart here. No, I don't. I've
Who?
looked at it for Hakeem Jeffries. I have, oh, go away. Just quit. Damn it. Why did it do that?
Did you think you had a time for him?
No, I thought I had it. I had his chart was in there and it's not there.
It's the 4th of August, 1970 in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Do you want to see it?
Because Jupiter is going to move into Leo this summer. August. No, so hold on.
August 4th, 1970. Brooklyn, New York. And of course, no time.
It doesn't matter for me.
Okay.
New York. That's There. Okay. Sorry for the dead air time. I have long seen the House flipping to the Dems before, and not in an election. That
Yeah,
it,
me too.
and I think we are. If the rats leaving the ship are as great as we've been told, then that's what would happen. Okay, so by the end of the summer, he's going to be having his Jupiter return, but this would be before then. So Saturn, okay. He's a more powerful person than people give him credit for, because he has Venus and Pluto really close together in Virgo, and Pluto is power and magnetism. Some people would disagree that he has it, but power and magnetism in a very non-emotional, practical way. He's very dry with how he talks, but it's one of the planets of money and desire. And the other one, which is Venus, is right there with him. He really does have a vision for making things better. And all of this water energy that I have been talking about has been pulling in his Neptune, which is his planet of inspiration. He's got elders, he's got ancestors who are part of what's going on. He's got help.
And he's probably talking to him right about now because he's got Venus and Mercury transiting that Neptune. So he's getting those messages. I buy that.
I still think it would be before. I mean, it would make sense to say, oh no, it's when Jupiter is going to go over his Mars and Sun that all this stuff breaks loose. But I think it's way before then.
I do too. I have always seen that, and I probably saw it at least a year too early. Yeah. But I think that all of these little elections that are coming up, I mean, even before MTG announced she was leaving, there were several elections that were going to be happening. I mean, Mikey Sherrill is governor of New Jersey now. Her seat's up. So we got to have an election there. And the person in Virginia, I don't know. I don't think she was holding a seat. So I don't think that's one. But there are going to be several. And as these MAGAs or Republicans, somebody with an R after their name, as they start deciding, hey, I could choose a different way, there's going to be more people, and it doesn't take a lot. We don't need to have a stampede for the door of the House of Representatives or the Senate. All we need is a handful, half a dozen. We don't really need that many to really get a majority. And I feel that that's going to happen. Do I think Hakeem is the best person to be the speaker? But he probably will be, because like you said, he's very powerful. He's got that Venus Pluto conjunction. He's also got, the Mercury moon. He's a persuasive speaker. He's a very persuasive speaker. He can reach in there and figure out what people want to hear. I mean, Nancy Pelosi was not stupid handing the crown to him. She was not stupid, because he will run with it. I don't like some of the things that he's done lately, but if I want someone to be speaker, I want someone who is really powerful and who can make some decisions, and I think he can. So, okay. So let's see. We're talking about there. That's MTG. That's Patel. Outcome of the vet lawmakers. Yeah, I'm sorry, Book Bewitch, you missed it. Petty Cash's GF just came out. Oh God, this is great.
What did Gia just say?
Petty.
Oh, girlfriend. Oh, good. Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. It's the lawmakers PSA that ties it up in a nice little bow. Oh, that's good. And she's also trying to distract from her and him being on the plane for a date. So, oh gosh. Now, a lot of these questions were about the National Guard thing. No, I don't think it was an inside job. I think it was just a lucky thing for the dumpster that now he has something else to use to pull more National Guard into DC. I don't think anything more than that. It's just kind of a lucky accident. Um, yeah. So let's see. Did we ever see RFK leaving on a stretcher? I hope. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I didn't. I don't really mean that. I don't. Oh, no, I don't never want to wish anybody ill. But a guy who eats roadkill, what you must have. He must have a death wish. I mean, why does he do things like that? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he already had that worm. I mean, wasn't that a red flag? Wasn't that a tip off that maybe you shouldn't eat the things you're eating or do the things you're doing, swimming in feces infested waters? I mean, come on. You're not smart, buddy. You're just not smart. So, all right. So anything else that we were going to talk about? I think we hit our topics.
I think so too. I'd like to add, and I can't think of the exact name for this, but the image I've been getting lately, besides power washing, is there's a ride on certain midways and certain amusement parks that kind of goes like this and like this and like this and like this and like this, and then it just hovers. And then it goes like this. We're here in the hover moment.
Yes, absolutely. We are. We are. Yeah. And it'll swing. It'll go back around. And it's such a weird time. We came out of all of those planets retrograde and still a couple retrograde, I believe, right?
Yeah, Mercury and Saturn turn around this weekend.
Okay. So we still have that retrograde feeling just from that, but then the actual Mercury retrograde was kind of a killer in Scorpio, kind of a killer. It hit me. Scorpio is my 10th house, so this was not a fun time for me. But in the summer, we had so much big retrograde energy from big planets, and the slowing down, and the stations are so long. It's like, God, what is happening? Why is the world doing this? Those periods are kind of coming to an end, and now we're moving into the energy that's coming up for 2026, which I hear is going to be extraordinary.
I think so.
Yeah. So you guys, you want to make sure that you're subscribed to Kathy's channel, Professional Aquarian, and you want to make sure that you go on her website too. She offers I'm going to say it, a shit ton of free stuff that you can learn about astrology, that you can listen to. She does short little snippets weekly. She does full moons. Do you do new moons too, or just full moons?
Yeah, I'm crazy. Full new month. You got it. Mm-hmm.
She's bananas. She does all the stuff. So make sure that you go and you sign up for that stuff. And of course, her weekly show with Louise is always really, really good. Really, really good. All right, guys. So I think we covered the waterfront as far as the dumpy news, and things are happening. Nothing is really settled right now. It's a bit of unsettled energy, but those 6 people who did the PSA, they're going to be okay. It's not going to be a fun time for them over the next month or so, but they're going to be okay. They're not going to come to physical harm. It's going to be all right. All right. So Kathy, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for all that you give us. I mean, it's just amazing information that you always give. I'm so happy to always have you here. And
thank you. Fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and we'll do it again next month, of course. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Thank you for your very, very thoughtful questions. I know some of them were about the same topics, and we did cover them. So I hope you were here. And if you weren't, if you missed it, if you stepped into the kitchen to get a snack or something, please listen to the replay and share and have your friends do that. So make sure that you like and subscribe and do all the YouTube-y things and give us a thumbs up. And if you leave a comment on the replay, make sure it has 7 characters. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to sign off now, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.